Hello everyone. Welcome to question 10 of placement test series 1 on macros. Now a macro is a name given to a piece or a block of code or to a value. So whenever in our code the name of the macro is seen, it is replaced by the exact same piece or block of code or by the value. So now let's look at this question and try to understand what I just said. This hash define tells that this is a macro and the add is the name of the macro. A and B are two values to the macro and A plus B is the block of code which we just spoke of. Here in this question we have a main function A is equal to 2, B is equals to 5, and then we are trying to compute the result by calling the macro add multiplied by the same macro add. Whenever I end up asking this question in the interviews, I generally get the answer as 49, which is add A comma B. So 2 plus 5, that is 7, and then 7 into 7, which is 49. But guys, hold on, this is not the answer. So like we just said, whenever the name of the macro is seen, the exact same piece of code is replaced where the name of the macro is. So A plus B and then multiplied by add A comma B. So we just replace it with the exact same block of code. Now I'm pretty sure you must be jumping at the answer. Well, we can see here B into A as a higher priority. So 5 into 2, which is 10, plus A, which is 2, plus 5, which is 17. So the answer is 17 and not 49. This is one of the very common mistakes which people do and try to understand these macros as just functions which takes in values and then computes the value and then returns the result back. Well, macro is just a simple replacement of the code or the value whenever that name is seen. So now you might be wondering, this looks so much similar to a function. So why do we need a hash define? Why do we need a macro? Why can't we just use a function? Well, this is a very common interview question, the difference between hash defines and functions. And well, the difference is that macros are very time efficient but less memory efficient, whereas functions are memory efficient but less time efficient. So there's a trade-off between a function and a macro. So you saw here we are calling the macro twice, and what we have done eventually is whenever the macro was called, we have replaced it with the block of code for that macro. So which means if this macro was inside a for loop which was running maybe 1000 times, so what we are basically doing is writing that same block of code 1000 times, which increases our code memory. But whereas in functions, we just have a one compiled copy of the code for that function. And no matter even if you call 1000 times or 20,000 times, only one copy of that function is maintained in the code memory. But we said macros are time efficient. Now, so whenever a function is called, you have to store the current state variables, then the current values onto the stack, jump to where the code of the function is, put in new values onto the stack, put in new state variables, compute the entire function result, pop out all those values and return back to the code to the calling function, and then restore back all the values which you had stored. So you can clearly see here how much time is being wasted between jumping to a new piece of code, storing in some values, popping the values, pushing the values, and then restoring back the values. So that makes the function time inefficient. So guys, I hope you liked the video. So please do share and subscribe if you liked it, and please leave suggestions in the comment box below. Thank you.